Okay, let's dive right into this. Have you ever wondered if it's literally possible to hit that millionaire mark while still grinding away at a regular 9-to-5 job? We're not talking about winning the lottery here or some kind of wishful thinking. We're talking about a practical, real-world roadmap. In this explainer, we're breaking down a proven, step-by-step framework designed to take a regular salary and transform it into serious, life-changing wealth. So here is exactly how this is going to break down. We'll start with Phase 1, the foundation. Then we'll move into Phase 2, skill acquisition, and finally, Phase 3, the execution. All right, kicking things off with Phase 1, the foundation. This is all about rewiring your mindset and your environment. Now, what's really interesting here is the massive gap between what society tells us to chase and what actually builds wealth. So many people say they want to be rich, buy the Mercedes, take the family on a world tour, but then they aim for highly prestigious government jobs like an IAS officer. And look, while those roles command absolute respect and give you a stable life, ultimate honesty in government service is not going to buy you a Rolls-Royce. The salary's fixed. On the flip side, look at a real estate agent in a big city. It might not have that initial societal prestige, but the earning potential through commissions, it's virtually unlimited. If wealth is your actual goal, your profession has to align with that outcome, not just with what looks good to society.
To align with that wealth goal, you urgently need to do an environment audit. First, and honestly, this sounds incredibly harsh, you have to distance yourself from friends who have a broke mindset. You are quite literally the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If they're always making excuses about why they can't succeed, you're gonna absorb that. Second, you have to use your idle time for learning. And third, stop watching completely mindless junk online. Social media algorithms feed you exactly what you engage with. If you consume high-value content, the algorithm basically becomes your free mentor. If you watch junk, well, your brain gets fed junk.
Going back to that second point for a second, there's this powerful quote that captures the whole idea perfectly. While your hands are busy, your mind is free. Just think about your daily commute or even your 15-minute morning shower. You're doing those tasks entirely on autopilot. Your hands are busy, sure, but your mind is wide open. That is prime time to consume educational audio, turning what is essentially dead time into a period of massive subconscious learning. Let's move to Phase 2 and see how this builds. Skill acquisition, high-income skills, and exclusive access. The very first step in acquiring these elite skills is finding the right teachers. But you have to actively seek out teachers who are already wealthy themselves. Why? Because wealthy teachers pass down subtle, subconscious secrets to making money that a poor advisor simply doesn't know. They teach you how to actually think and navigate the world, not just a list of textbook steps. Once you start learning, you need to position yourself right around these successful people. You essentially need to get yourself into rooms where you weren't initially invited. That might mean joining an exclusive space, like a high-end golf club, even if it feels totally intimidating at first. But just showing up isn't enough. You have to build a high-value skill. Think of a really elite boxing coach. He might not be ultra-wealthy himself, but because he has an elite skill, wealthy clients respect him and seek him out. You need a skill that makes wealthy people look at you and say, hey, how can you help me? And what is arguably the ultimate high-value skill? It's sales. I know, a lot of people run to cozy corporate jobs specifically to avoid selling, but that's a fatal flaw if you want to be a millionaire. We need to completely redefine sales right now. It is simply the act of exchanging value. Think about it. When you propose to your partner, you're selling a shared future. When you interview for a job, you're selling your skills and your time. Avoiding sales because of some societal stigma just means giving up on your wealth dreams before you even start. Now let's bring it all together in Phase 3, the execution. Mathematics, leverage, and investing. So the crucial point here is understanding the absolute math of your goal. If your goal is to make 1 crore rupees a year, which is 10 million rupees, you've got to break that massive number down into a monthly target. Mathematically, it means you need to be making just over 8.3 lakhs every single month. With that 8.3 lakh target staring back at you, you have to look in the mirror and ask a really tough question. Does your current daily work actually deserve that payout? If you're stuck doing low-value tasks, the answer is, unfortunately, no. This is exactly why wealthy people ruthlessly outsource small daily chores, like driving, cooking, cleaning. They want to free up their time and mental bandwidth to focus strictly on tasks that scale to that high-income target. Okay, once you start generating higher income, how do you multiply it? You use leverage. Now, the traditional middle-class mindset is completely terrified of all debt, but the ultra-rich, they actively use good debt to their advantage. They aren't taking out loans to buy the newest iPhone or some depreciating luxury car. They use debt as calculated leverage to acquire massive, appreciating business or real estate assets. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how good debt works in the real world. Let's look at real estate leverage. Imagine you want to buy a 5 crore property. You only have 2 crore in cash, so you confidently leverage a 3 crore bank loan. Now, let's say a few years later that property's value surges to 15 crore. You sell it, pay back the bank's 3 crore plus interest, and your initial 2 crore investment has now scaled into a massive 10 crore profit. That is the explosive mathematical power of leverage. But real estate isn't the only way to compound your wealth. You also have to invest in the stock market, exactly like the legends do. And to do that successfully, you need strict discipline and zero emotion. Thankfully, today, we don't have to guess. You can literally let data and AI do the heavy lifting for you. There are sophisticated tools out there right now that let you analyze market momentum and copy the exact portfolios of legendary investors with just a click. To put that into perspective, let's look at the undeniable math on a 5-year back-tested return comparison. If you just played it safe and invested in a standard index like the Nifty 50, you'd see a respectable 59% return over 5 years. But if you applied an AI-driven momentum strategy, identifying small-cap stocks with actual market momentum, that return skyrockets to an unbelievable 413%. That is the massive difference between passive saving and active data-driven compounding. Which brings us to a fascinating, honestly kind of funny reality about how the actually wealthy handle their liquid cash. Our source material shares this hilarious personal anecdote where a simple UPI payment of just 600 rupees to a gym trainer completely failed due to insufficient funds. But it wasn't because the person was broke. It was because their accountant had just paid advance taxes and every single other spare rupee in the account was completely swept into liquid funds and active investments. We call this the millionaire paradox. For the truly wealthy, having a seemingly empty bank account is actually a profound sign of financial discipline. Every single rupee is viewed as a worker. You should actually feel a little bit broke in your day-to-day checking account because your money shouldn't just be sitting idle dying to inflation. It should be actively deployed into assets, mutual funds, or business ventures that are working around the clock to make you even more money. So we've walked through the whole shebang, auditing your environment, acquiring high-income skills, utilizing leverage, and the hardcore math of investing. You now hold the exact blueprint, the how, to become a millionaire on a standard 9-to-5 salary. But just knowing the path isn't enough. The final, most crucial question you have to answer is this. Is your internal why strong enough to make you start today? You can find a million ways how, but only a powerful, burning why will actually push you to cut off toxic habits, learn uncomfortable skills, and take the calculated risks required to build true, lasting wealth. Take a second right now to figure out your why, and let's get to work.